Cyclists love a hard-as-nails narrative when it comes to winter riding, but it doesn't actually need to be that much of a chore. Sure, it can be pretty difficult to get yourself out the door in the winter time, but I find once you're outside, it tends to be pretty good fun.
Yeah, I actually find that winter riding is probably some of my most favourite riding, as long as you get the ingredients right. Good company, great roads,
great cafe stops.
You get the point. Now we're going to be explaining how to have the perfect winter ride aboard this specialised turbo Creo and the Cannondale Synapse, and using some really cool little navigational features from our friends at Komoot.
That's right, James. Let's get to it.
Yep.
One of the things that I can find the hardest when I'm riding in the winter is actually just getting myself out the front door, which is why I always choose to go riding with a really good pal. And that pal is, of course, James Bracey. I mean, it's your mates that can take a ride from mediocre to legendary, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like some of my best memories of riding in the winter is definitely with my mates. You know, the shared suffering is one of the things, but the main thing is having somebody to enjoy the pub stop with at the end.
Exactly, and you know, all those times, that ride where you drop me on every climb, I wouldn't change it for the world, James.
I don't do that at all.
You're doing it right now, James. Goodness sake, you know what it is? It's because he's on an e-bike. Steady on, James. Now, if you're out riding with a good friend, or maybe you're particularly intrepid, then using the winter time to scope out some new routes can really spice up your riding.
Whereas in the summer, when you tend to go out and smash yourself, winter is a perfect time to ride within yourself and to explore somewhere new. And that can be a particularly rewarding experience.
I know that I get particularly demotivated. I'm just going to be riding the same roads over and over again, and that can make it quite difficult for me to actually get myself out the door. So if I know I'm going riding on the weekend, I'll actually spend a lot of the week planning new routes on Komoot and using the cool tools that it has to do so and to help me bring in some new hills or maybe some new roads that I've not done before.
Yeah, whereas I like to use Komoot in a different way, and they've got the tour function, which pulls together tours from the most popular roads in the area, and it puts together a route for you. So I don't tend to spend hours doing it, just press the buttons and it gets me a new route, no problem.
That's pretty cool. Come on then, James, let's go.
Sometimes the perfect winter ride is just getting outside and feeling like you've had a workout. But if you don't face a long ride, just mix it up. Go for a short ride, but put some intervals in. Or any workout where you feel like you're putting in the effort. And this is where the Turbo Creo really does come into its own. Yes, it is an e-bike, but you control the power. Through the Mission Control app, you can turn down the power to make sure that it's you that's putting in the effort, which is great. Having the right clothing is an essential part of a great winter's ride. I can promise you, if you go out in bib shorts and a short sleeve jersey, you're gonna have a bad time. We can't stress enough how important it is to cover any bare skin for a winter's ride. Once you get rolling, that wind chill will make any ride pretty uncomfortable. To keep your legs protected in winter, we'd obviously recommend a good pair of bib tights or leg warmers. For your top half, it's all about layering. You need to start off with a good long sleeve base layer and cover that with a thermal jersey. If it's going to be windy or you need extra protection, a gilet is a great idea. And obviously, if it's going to rain or it's already raining, then a waterproof jacket, preferably something that you can put in a back pocket if needed, is a great thing to carry. Other accessories that will make your riding much more enjoyable include either a cap or a headband to keep your ears warm during those cold winter rides, a set of good gloves, and if it's going to be wet, a set of overshoes is a great idea as well.
Now, the number one piece of kit that we recommend you prioritise on your bike in the winter are your tyres. Now, these Vittoria Zafiro Pros on my Cannondale Synapse have a 60 TPI casing, which makes them really tough and very durable. What's more, they're a whopping 30 millimeters wide, and because of the disc brakes on the Synapse, I could actually squeeze up to 32 mil into this bike if I wanted to go even wider. If you are planning to be a bit more adventurous this winter, then we do recommend that you get a bike that can keep up with you. Something like the Cannondale Synapse is perfect for those more explorative winter ride. It has a ballistic carbon fibre frame which helps keep the weight of the bike down whilst retaining that sort of lively and performance orientated feel. What's more, it's an endurance bike, which means it has relaxed geometry to help you keep in the saddle for that bit longer. Oh, and it's got hidden fender mounts as well.
But if you think that's good, wait till you see the Turbo Creo. While some people might think an aluminium frame is a bit too harsh for winter riding, Specialized has worked hard on its E5 aluminium alloy to make it smooth and subtle. And check out the Future Shock. This nifty little suspension unit underneath the stem gives me all the cushion I need to cope with any potholes that might be hiding under those pedals. It goes without saying that the perfect winter's ride has to include a decent cafe stop. Hell, it's the only way I can get Rupert out for some rides during the winter.
This cake is so good. But being serious, actually it's really important to keep on top of your eating and drinking in the winter, because studies have shown that riding in the cold you will burn more calories. When riding in the summer, your body will tell you when you need to drink by giving you the very physical sensation of thirst. However, this is diminished in the winter due to the cold weather, and it can mean that you won't be taking on board enough fluids. Now, if you're not taking on board enough calories, it's a guaranteed way to have the dreaded bonk. And I'm going to be moving on to my second slice in a minute, I think.
Some of my perfect winter rides have been spent getting absolutely filthy off-road. Gravel riding or even mountain biking is the perfect antidote for a summer of smashing the tarmac.
Getting sideways in the mud and descending trails have proven benefits for your bike handling skills, and tackling steep off-road climbs is a guaranteed way to get your heart rate up and your legs screaming. Oh, and I can promise you that it will leave you grinning from ear to ear. Well, lovely ride, James.
Once again, we've gone some miles and we've enjoyed ourselves.
We have had a good time, but I'll see you later, yeah?
Yeah.
Catch you later on. Now, my final ingredient for a perfect winter bike ride is actually not on the bike at all. It doesn't take place on the bike, it's the bit that comes afterwards. It is having an afternoon of doing absolutely nothing when you get home. Ah, it's heaven. The feeling that you've absolutely smashed yourself out on the bike, your legs are shot, you're really tired, and you know that you can just lie down on the sofa, put your legs up and eat basically whatever you want. Really, I think that is why I ride a bike. Now, those are Cycling Weekly's top ingredients for a perfect winter ride. Now, if you have liked this video, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. And if you have any of your own ingredients, let us know what they are in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. Now, we'll be back soon with some more great content, and we'll see you then.